journal number 15, going from visual acuity to legal blindness. And it's been a really, really cool week. Definitely going to talk about O&M school and what went on with that. A lot of really, really cool stuff. Obviously, there will be a highlight reel, me face planting into a back of what I believe to be a van, as well as some other things, which actually helped my learning intensely. So going ahead and jumping right in, just a couple of little things about it with the school. It's located in Michigan, Rochester, I believe it is, outside of Detroit. They have about almost 200 people on staff, almost 1,000 volunteers. It's the largest of its kind in the world. They train about 150 to 200 dogs, leader dogs, at any given time, consistently and constantly. They also have O&M, Orientation and Mobility School, which is what I just got back from there. And their program is phenomenal. They are, from what I know and understand, they are not taxpayer funded. They are funded by a little over 4,000 Lions clubs, plus about 25,000-ish personal donors. And man, let me tell you, this is something I'm glad that is being supported. They really know what they're doing. They run it well. They really care for the people and the dogs, and it's just really top notch. So jumping straight in, I can say that when I left for O&M school, there were quite a few things that I wouldn't do because I was concerned about safety and things like that. One of which would be an escalator. And then there were some other things where I would have struggle with. If next time you ride an elevator, close your eyes, close them, get on, press the button, close them. And hopefully there will be people pressing buttons as you're going to somewhere, because when you hear the doors open, are you on your floor 25? Or did somebody press the button on floor 4 and then 7 and then 8 to get on the way up or down? And there's so many things that are so simple in the world that you just don't think about. So, like for instance, one of the learnings at O&M was, hey, I have this issue, and not all elevators announce what floor they're on. And they're like, well, the KISS rule is generally a good rule. So thinking about the environment, on every elevator, on the outside of the elevator, right on the wall, they always have a placard with the floor number and everything. So if the door's open and you don't know exactly where you're at on that, why aren't you reaching out and just feeling the placard? And I was like, well, that's just too simple. That's why I probably never thought of it, because it's just too simple. And so something like that, when I was sighted, was never a question or concern. Now that I'm struggling with my vision, it's, being legally blind, it is, most elevators don't announce unless they're at the ground floor, basically. So that was a really cool learning. Very small thing, but it's a very big thing. Overall, the school, and I'll go ahead and pop an image up here. This does not do it justice, by the way, at all. So overall, the school is very well laid out. In the upper left there, you can see that the colors, for everything from the colors on the floors to the colors on the walls to the lighting, is all literally designed to help with contrast. That's just a hallway leading down to a room to my in the residence center. The second picture up there in the middle is the puppy area. Really, really cool learning on this. The dogs actually, they breed them, of course, for the program. They breeding golden retrievers and black labs, I believe. And basically, once the puppy's born, they go out to puppy raisers, they call them. So they go live with a foster family, for a year. That family teaches them some stuff, not to the level of what they'll learn later, but gets them exposed socially to, many environments, things like that. So that said, when they come back after a year, once they come back after a year, then the pups go into training if they're going to. A significant number don't make it that far, and they get homed as pets and things like that. But the ones that do make it past that point, and they're all being medically screened and all kinds of stuff, they go into training for about 4 to 6 months. And what I found to be very, very enlightening, very interesting in this whole thing is that the dogs that wash out, they generally go to the police departments and go on to be canine officers, or they'll go to the courtrooms, which I didn't know this was a thing. And this is where I'll be a little sheltered in life, and almost wish that I could go back to being a little sheltered. They'll go to the courtrooms because those dogs will be basically comfort dogs. So if like a little child has to testify against their mom or dad, the dog will, by command, go over and lay its head in the child's lap so that it can give it comfort and give them comfort during their stressful time, in places like that. And what I found to be interesting on that was that the one of the higher reasons why they wash out of a leader dog program is if they lack the ability to intelligently disobey, and I believe I'm getting those words right. And essentially what that means is if you tell the dog to go forward and it does so without any thought, and just basically trust you. You said go forward, we're going forward. Well, that dog isn't thinking through the situation fully, and isn't utilizing intelligent disobedience. Whereas this happened. Whereas if you have a guide dog, a leader dog, that you say go forward, and the dog says, nah, we're not doing that. So it's intelligently disobeying if it's for good reason. So then, and this happened to someone. This person said, the dog's name forward. That's the way you do the command. And the dog said, yeah, no, we're not going that way. We're going to stand right here. And they said it one more time, probably with a little more force from what I understand in the story. And the dog's like, nah, not doing it. And about that time, somebody came running up behind this person, yelling, stop, stop, stop. And what I didn't share was this person had pressed the elevator button. The chime was made. The doors were opened up, but the car wasn't there. So had the dog not utilized intelligent disobedience, the dog and the owner handler would have plummeted probably to their death. And some dogs will absolutely great, well-trained, but they won't think about that, and they won't defy you when they should, and they'll take the command and go. Leader dogs know when to say no, and that's probably the easiest way to explain it, and that is so interesting and amazing to me that, the washout dogs are going to canines and different places like that. And the leader dogs have to be able to tell you, no, we're not doing that. Which makes sense if you think about it. You're visually impaired. You're not seeing everything that they're probably seeing. You're not hearing everything maybe that they're hearing. And so that was a really, really cool story. And thank the Lord for that leader dog, saving that handler's life, quite frankly. And I will say that you go, well, how could you not know if you have some vision? And the reality is I have roughly still about 15 inches of functional vision. for reading and things like that, work and stuff. And then as it goes out further, it gets a little blurrier, but I still can see enough to make out that it's a pine tree 20, 30 feet away. So, and this came into focus for me, no pun intended, on this trip, actually. You're thinking, well, if you got some of that, how could you not know the car wasn't there? And we went down to Detroit, Michigan, and we were practicing with streetcars. That's basically light rail. So, at any rate, I experienced this. Based on the way the lighting is and whatnot, it does affect my vision in a different way. And the doors opened on the streetcar, and let me tell you, it was absolute blackness in there. I could not tell if there was anybody in there it was literally the abyss. Now, I was using my cane, so I used my cane to probe out and step in and whatnot. Once the doors closed, after a little bit, I was able to actually make out, again, my vision stabilized out with the light source, and that thing was packed full of people. And I mean, dang, shoulder to shoulder. But when I was standing on the platform, it was an empty darkness of black. So I do understand how that could happen to somebody who's visually impaired, because light sources and backlighting, it matters. If I sit down at a restaurant and my spouse is in front of me, but the sun is on the windows behind them, it's really hard for me to make them out. But if we flip that, and they're sitting across the table, I can make out, her features and everything. I'm not saying it's as clear as it would be if I wasn't legally blind, but I can make her out and all. So that light source matters. So I can see totally how that type of thing could happen. And thank the Lord for the leader dogs on that. They, and I know I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. So at any rate, the puppies, they go off, they do their 12 months, they come back, they get 14. They're about 14 to 16 months old when the matching program goes through. And this is really, really cool. So, on the screen there, on the upper right, two pictures, you'll see there's a tack shop. This place has been around for 85 years, the Leader Dog program. And they actually have a tack shop. I think he said there was 4 volunteers that come in and hand make all of the harness systems specifically for the actual dog that's being placed with the actual handler and their exact movement, structure, height, everything. There's a lot more that goes into it than just how tall you are. There's strength of pull and their stride and all that. So they actually make that specifically for every single interaction. So when you go on site for the Leader Dog program, you start out with a loaner harness, basically, and they start fitting and modeling and fitting and modeling. And that program's about 3 weeks long that you're there. During that timeline, they actually custom build a leather harness for that particular dog and that particular owner, which I thought was really, really cool. I mean, the detail that they go through, and it is meticulous in every way, is obviously they've been doing it 85 years. I mean, that's just, I'm going to say it that way. Obviously, they've been doing it 85 years. So, how'd the week go? What happened? What did we learn? So first and foremost, get on site. Again, very well organized. Very first thing that my trainer did with me was to take my cane, the one that I'd ordered, but I just had to do something to get by, YouTube trained, as I would call it. And I was like, yeah, that's not the right one for you. And they provided me a cane, and it's a good cane. It's not one of the super cheap ones. It's not the, Mercedes-Benz of canes, but it's also not the Pinto. It's a really good, solid cane. And they educated me on that and why that one was better and what it should be and things like that, which was cool. They exposed me to the different tips, the bottom of the cane, and there's a rolling ball that is just phenomenal for my kind of environments. We sat down and did some paperwork, of course, some survey, and we talked through. And what I thought was really, really cool is that they actually had looked up, and you could tell they Google mapped and done a whole bunch of stuff, my house address, the closest town to me, my farm that we're building, and all the roads and all around. And they were talking from memory, hey, when you walk on X road, what would that look like? Okay, you're not going to right now, got it, but what skills do you think you're lacking to get you there to do that comfortably? And so on and so on. And, hey, in town, we see there's a little coffee shop. You like coffee. Is that something you're having trouble with? And what kind of a route have you been taking? Do you walk around the water fountain? I mean, they literally knew all that. They had really done their research, which I thought was really cool. And then, after that, man, the training is intense. I'm not going to mince words on that. It is intense. I mean, I literally at the end of the week had blisters on my hands from the canes, from using it so much more than when I do at the house. And I use it here, but whew. So you basically get up in the morning, do breakfast, then you go meet a trainer, and it's one-on-one all week long, same trainer, which was awesome. Go out for several hours, come back, do lunch, then go back out for several hours, come back, do dinner. If you choose to do night training, that's available as well. And you do that basically all week. And everybody's training is individualized and specific. So mine, I'd done quite a bit of practice, before going. My technique wasn't right. I didn't have all the skills by any means, but it wasn't the first time I'd picked it up. So, we adjusted the training plan to my needs, which I thought was cool. The first morning we went out. I just had my sunglasses on like I always do, and kind of, what you got. And they matched the trainer up to the person, which was cool. I'm very blunt, very direct on a lot of things, very to the point, and so was my trainer. They matched me up with him based on personality traits, and that was perfect, by the way. So he didn't let me get by with any BS, and we didn't do any fluffy bunny. It was very direct and to the point. It's what I needed and what I liked. The very first day, very first morning, he's like, your technique sucks. You're not out here cutting wheat, man. We need to do this, this, and this. So that was really cool. We buttoned that up. And then by the end of the first day, the mass majority of the time, he had me in occlusion glasses, which are basically glasses that they put a bunch of tape over. You can't see out of them. Sometimes you can get a little peeper, as they called them, peepers. You can get a little peeper out the bottom, but even that depends. So I was either in those for the rest of the week, most days, or I was in the Mindscape, and that's the brand name, the Mindscape blindfold, which is the best blindfold I've ever seen on the planet. I actually ordered one off Amazon. It was like $16 so that I could continue practicing and not lose the skills, because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. But those things are awesome. They got a foam, and then there's a little cutout for your eyes in the foam, and then the normal, fabric. But because of the way that foam is, it's super comfortable. You can wear them literally all day long. And then the way that foam plus the fabric is, it is dark. I mean, 100%, no light acuity. You are dark. And you couldn't close your eyes and get that little light. It is that dark. Well, I wore those. Most of my week I was flipping between the peepers and those, and I wore those a lot. The Mindscape blindfolds, and so definitely was an experience, because I think it was by the end of the first day I was in those blindfolds using a cane, navigating around residential neighborhood, crossing streets and whatnot. And listen, I made a lot of mistakes. That's part of the name of the game, learning. You know, my thing. I want to say it was my first day there. Um, you know, trainer and I are out working in a neighborhood, and he's like, "Hey, man, where you at?" I was like, "I have a blindfold on. I have no idea." He goes, "That's not an acceptable answer. You have to know where you're at." And he goes, "I'll give you a hint. You're not on the side of the street you think you are." Well, I had literally crossed the street, not even realized that I'd crossed the street because I had missed the bumps on the sidewalk and I'd missed the downslope and a bunch of other indicators they teach you about. And I just walked across the street. So that's where we had started the week. Um, by the end of the week, just to sneak peek on this, I was with the blindfold on, crossing divided highways, crossing intersections that have 3 lanes of traffic going in one direction. So then it's basically your turn lane, 3 lanes, a turn lane. On the other side is the same thing, a turn lane or 3 lanes of traffic, and then it's all the way around the intersection, four way. Doing that completely blindfolded by the end of the week. So that's how far they take you. I mean, it was just amazing. And there was some uh, bump ups along the way. One of the things was, and I learned the hard way, and I'm so grateful for my trainer. He was awesome. One of the things was we went out to a residential neighborhood under construction. Um, you know, it was more to the kind of area that I'm in where not a lot going on with it, but from a number of houses perspective and whatnot. But unbeknownst to me, so what we were training on was gutter travel. So if you've ever seen a little residential area where you've got the street and on the ends you've got the little concave gutters, right? The little concrete gutters that are a little concave, and you'll have a storm drain every now and again. So teach me how to traverse that and how to cross roads in there. And by the way, I'm literally blindfolded, 100% dark. So they're teaching me how to do that 100% dark, go all the way down, find the cul-de-sac, spin it around, come all the way back up to where we parked, cross the street, and whatnot, which was great. I got all the way down to the cul-de-sac, and I knew there was construction. Somebody's building a house. You could hear that off to my right. So thought there might be obstructions right there in the cul-de-sac, because he had told me point blank there was going to be a bunch of obstructions. He wasn't going to tell me anything about what they were, because this wasn't day one anymore. We were day 2 or 3 or something. So anyway, I found it was probably an F-250, F-350 probably, because it had the big extended camper mirrors on it. I know that because I found the mirror with the bill of my hat. But I worked my way around that, no problem. So then it was coming back up and out of the cul-de-sac, and I had gotten into a bad habit and rhythm of just riding my cane in that little convex groove on the side of the road so that I could make sure I didn't lose my spatial orientation and go out into the road. But I had forgotten to sweep my cane across shoulder to shoulder, so I wasn't really blocking for myself. I was just going, and my trainer did a great thing for me in that he just let me do it. And man, I was in full stride. I was very confident. I was doing well until bam, my face hit the back of what I can only imagine is a minivan because of the glass and the way things are laid out on what I could feel, because again, I'm totally dark on that. Man, I hit that thing so hard, my baseball cap almost literally came completely off my head, but I caught that. My face was on the glass, my chest was on probably the back panel of the car, my legs were touching the bumper, and I mean, it made a sound. And I kind of startled back a little bit, and my trainer goes, "Hey, you know what you did wrong?" I said, I hit somebody's car. He goes, "No, that ain't what you did wrong. What you did wrong was you forgot to use the cane to sweep. You're over here worried about that gutter so much, you forgot to sweep." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's true. So I work my way around this van, and we're going again. And now I'm at a good click. I'm moving, but I'm doing it the right technique. And this thing is all about technique, because a sidewalk is a sidewalk. A convex curve is a convex curve. It's all about technique and procedure. So at any rate, there was another vehicle somewhere up the road. This time the cane detected it. I didn't hit it, meaning I didn't walk into it. Worked my way around all that. So we get all the way done. Once I got the blindfold off, I said, man, I hope I didn't hurt that vehicle. And he was like, man, don't worry about the vehicle. You got to learn how to do this, and sometimes you gotta do it wrong to do it right. And I was like, yeah, but I'm surprised the homeowner didn't just run out the house. He was like, well, they're kind of used to it. I was, okay then. So there was stuff like that all week. You know, I will say they did such a great job in 1 week taking me from, you know, I'm not going to leave a property. If I go to a conference, I'm going to stay right on that property. I'm not going to go like a couple of blocks away to dinner with somebody or something. You know, don't go into the food line as much with my wife because it's more of a pain than it's worth. To get out of my way, I think we're pretty good here. And I'm not saying that I won't make mistakes, but I'm not nervous about doing it. Give me a road, I'll cross it. So then, you know, we did things like an Easter egg hunt essentially, and this Home Depot picture in the lower left. This was kind of funny, apparently. So my trainer had said, hey, look, you know, we're going to go into to the Home Depot and I need a old style work box. So I need one of those blue boxes with 2 nails in it. And I said, all right, cool. He's like, and I need you to just go do it. Go get it. I said, all right. So we go into the Home Depot and he goes, and I asked him, I said, you know, what are the rules? He said, the rules, it's life. There are no rules. Figure it out. Whatever tools you got, use them. So, all right, cool. So I made my way to the very front of the store where the cash registers are, because there's always a Home Depot person monitoring the little self-checkouts. And I was like, hey, do you know where this box is? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's aisle 43. I said, great. Just kind of tell me where is it at? And they said, over there. I said, okay, I'm legally blind, so over there doesn't help me, but could you maybe tell me, is it in the back corner of the store? Move my hand to where you know, it's pointing the right direction. So we did. And I was like, all right, cool, thanks. He goes, you need any help? I said, no, I think I got it from there. I appreciate it. So off I go. And so I get to where I'm in almost the back corner of the store. I either got to make a left or a right. And I'll be honest, I wasn't really sure which way. I was having trouble. I couldn't really see the big numbers on the aisles. So I knew it was going to be a left or a right, though. And this dude walks up. He says, hey, you the guy looking for the blue electrical box? I'm not sure how he knows that, but yeah, I am. I said, you know, I'm looking for aisle 43. He goes, all right, man, I'm going to walk you down. We're almost there, just a couple aisles over. I'll just walk you over real quick. So at that point, I was like, all right, cool. You know, I'm not going to be prideful about this. So at any rate, we get there, and my trainer over my shoulder says, all right, well, guys, he's where he needs to be. That's perfect. Thank you guys so much. And so he walks up, he reaches over, grabs the electrical box, because he legitimately wanted to get some. And when everybody, I guess, had left, because, I mean, I don't have the peripheral, so I thought I had a Home Depot dude, like right beside of me, but I really couldn't see him. You know, the guy who said he'd walk over with me. My trainer leans over, and when they all were left, he says, dude, do you have a clue about what just happened? I said, yeah, we got 2 electrical boxes. You said there was no rules. I said, and he laughed. He said, that's true. He said, that's true. But I hope you, he goes, what you don't probably know is you had the one guy walking beside of you. I said, yeah, I knew he was there. He goes, well, what you didn't know is you had 4 guys, and I'm not joking. There were 4 Home Depot guys trailing you. So you had literally the Home Depot bubble of safety walking you to the blue electrical boxes. He said, "Man, I ain't never seen somebody get so much help in a store in my life, and I do this for a living." And he goes, "Dude, the cane has power, man." And I was like, "Wow, that was cool." So shout out to Home Depot for trying to really be helpful. But no, I had no idea. I had literally 5 total guys walking me to a $2 electrical box. So, but that was really cool. So at any rate, that was the Home Depot trip in the bottom left there. And there was a lot more. I mean, I definitely am not going to have time to cover it all in this video. I'll talk more about it another day. But down in the center there, that was Major. Major was a leader dog in training. He's about halfway through his training, and even at halfway through, man, that dog makes me look dumb. I mean, he was awesome. Followed commands, loves peanut butter, and just did a great job. And they said that because he's such a strong puller and such a fast walker, he probably is going to get matched up in Spain, which I didn't realize that was a thing. But apparently they do a lot of fast walking in Spain. I don't know. And then the bottom right, I'm going to get this wrapped up because it's been a really long video. The bottom right there is me at the Detroit airport utilizing escalators on my own, which may seem like a small thing, but it's not. That is just, I just can't explain how awesome that is because man, I did escalators, flat and non-flat escalators. Did them with confidence at that airport after the training, and that has been one of the things that would have been a severe inconvenience or a hindrance. At conferences I go to, a lot of times you'll be at floor 2, and they'll be like, "All right, let's run downstairs for meetings at floor 1." So what everybody does, jump on the escalator, gone, and they're in the room before I can get an elevator to come get me and all that. So now, man, I'm going to be with the herd. Get out of the way. We're going down this escalator. So that's the type of thing that Leader Dogs does, and their O&M training. And I can't thank them enough. I mean, they were fantastic. Fantastic. I didn't know what I was really getting into with them. I thought I did, but now hindsight being 2020. No pun intended. I had no clue, and I'm pleasantly surprised at how good they really are. So, on that note, more to talk about on O&M school. That's just kind of a highlight, but fantastic thing, and I'm super glad with where things are at. Maybe next time I'll talk about when we were crossing the road and the vehicle attempted not to yield. That was interesting, but. At any rate, y'all be good out there. Peace out, Girl Scout.